Breaking news today, 2 possible explosions occurred near the finish line of the Boston Marathon. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kelsey Hubbard, and welcome to the News Hub. Right now, we are unsure of how many are injured, though there are reports that many people, spectators and runners, were impacted at the blast. But of course, the details are still unfolding as we speak. We're going to go to Boston, where the Wall Street Journal sports reporter Kevin Helliker is joining us now to let us know what he is seeing on the ground. Kevin, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Kelsey, I'm actually in New York. We have several people, and I'm in touch with several people on the ground in Boston.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
As you indicate,
everything. All the confusion. I thought you were up there covering it.
It's just total confusion. But
so you've been in touch with them then?
Even more so on the ground. Yeah, there's blood in the streets. There's everything is sort of speculation at this point. It looks
right.
There are reports that that an explosion went off in or near a sporting goods store near the finish line, and that there was a second one. Then there's some talk that it may have that one of them may have come from a trash can, and also that a third bomb or device was found unexploded near a hotel. It happened at about the 4.5-hour point.
Right, because we saw there were still runners who were crossing the finish line at the time of the blast.
So 4.5 hours is there are a lot of people left on the course at that point, especially a course as difficult as Boston. So those people are being directed off. We talked to a couple of women who were within a half hour of the finish line. I mean, a half mile of the finish line. It was their first marathon, and they were stopped by police and pulled off. They had heard the explosions and thought that it was kind of a finish line celebration. Nobody knew what to think. I spoke with a cardiologist named Paul Thompson, who has run the Boston Marathon 29 times, was there as a spectator this time because he got hurt last year, has been a medical official involved with it. He was crying. He said that the marathon would never be the same. This raises huge questions about how to handle security at something like a marathon. You've got a course that's surrounded by spectators, and how in the world one would impose security on that situation is just a big mystery.
Yeah, and Kevin, it makes it all the more heartbreaking to know that it's Patriots Day in Boston. Many people do not have to work. Schools are closed, and this is a big holiday where a lot of people in the area go out to watch. And as you're saying, it's so heartbreaking to know how many people were there, much less the 25,000 plus runners who were in the race. And, you know, we always sort of jump to terrorism. We should say right now, at this point, we do not know and do not have information as to the origin of this blast, and we don't want to speculate there, but we do want to just bring in the fact that the president, we are getting word, a White House official has said the president has been notified of the incident in Boston, and his administration is in contact with state and local authorities. And Kevin, I'm sure the folks that you're talking to on the ground there are reporting that, you know, police, fire, EMTs are on the scene, because until we know more, I'm sure they are treating it like a crime scene.
Right. Our reporter on the ground at the finish line said that it appears as though every ambulance in Boston is on the scene. And so, I mean, at this point, I think even the officials don't, it's not that they're not giving information. They don't know it.
Right.
I mean, there's just mass confusion everywhere. And I was also am old enough and have been around long enough to have covered the Oklahoma City blast in regard to what you were saying. And you're right, that was an act of terrorism, but it was an act of domestic terrorism. So it's wrong to jump to conclusions this early. But if these in fact were bombs, then it was an act of terrorism of some kind. And as that doctor Paul Thompson said, these people are not combatants, and they're just totally innocent, and they're out watching or running a marathon, and he couldn't even speak without crying.
Well, thank you, Kevin, for bringing it to us and all the people that you're talking to on the ground. We should note that security has been beefed up in New York City after the Boston explosions, and I'm sure many city and state governments in major cities like that are going to be on alert. So we thank you for bringing it to us. We appreciate it. And, of course, everybody can stay tuned to WSJ.com throughout the evening, and, of course, tomorrow for more updates on this. Stay with us here on the News Hub. We'll have much more coming up.